Oi, tudo bem com você? That's my regular greeting. That's what I usually say. And that's kind of formal too. Oi, tudo bem com você? But Brazilians are anything but formal. You may have learned that from our carnival, from our memes, we have lots of them, or even from our jokes. And that's why I'm going to teach you 5 ways plus one to greet like a Brazilian. Let's get started. Okay, way number one is oi, hola. That's what you usually see in textbooks, in Duolingo, in other apps, and stuff like that. And I want you to pay attention to two things only. One is syllable stress. Oi, you push down on the first syllable. Oi, it's not oi, but oi. And the second one is hola. That's why we have that little diacritic. Hola. It's not hola like in Spanish, but it's hola. And some people might say, oh, what's the difference? They are the same. No, they are not exactly the same. One is a little bit more formal, one is a little bit more informal. And if you want to greet people, oi is a better choice, at least in my opinion. That's what I say. That's what my friends say. Oi, tudo bem? And that's what usually you will hear from Brazilians. Way number two, bom dia, bom dia. That's also a very common way. But of course, you know probably that bom dia is good day. But you can use it only during the morning. You cannot really use that during the whole day. For the afternoon, you have to use tarde. And because bom is an adjective, it agrees with this next word. Bom dia, masculine. Boa tarde, feminine. And how about in the evening? In the evening, you would say boa noite. Either when you are leaving or when you are arriving, both are boa noite. Kind of useful, right? And just a quick thing. If, uh, how to explain that? Brazilians have this very logical division of the day. The morning is from 5 in the morning up to noon or midday and 1 minute or 1 minute past midday until 6 p.m. It's afternoon, and after 1 p.m. it's evening or night. Some people might debate that. They might say, no, it's not like that because 6 p.m. is still afternoon until 6:59. It's not really that important, is it? It's just you're fighting for breadcrumbs, very petty things, not really useful. So stick to this division, and if you want to be a little bit less conservative, you could say boa tarde after 6 p.m. until 6:59, and you could say good night after midnight because that's technically morning already, in Portuguese at least. Next up is como vai? Como vai means how are you? Technically, it translates as how do you go? And that's a good point because when you answer, you wouldn't say I'm fine, but you would say I go well. And vou bem. Como vai? Vou bem. The next one tends to pose some problems for native English speakers for one reason. When you have tudo bem, that's a question, and then you have to raise your intonation. When you answer, you use the same expression, tudo bem, and it falls. Tudo bem, it rises. Tudo bem, it falls. And a very important thing, it's a very nasal sound. You don't want to say tudo bem. You don't want to do that because it sounds like not really regular. And if you say tudo bem, you don't, your lips don't touch. Tudo bem, tudo bem. It's very, very nasal. It's a hard sound at the beginning, but the more you practice, the better you get at it. Next up is one that I really like because it shows the versatility that Portuguese has when compared to other languages. And when you want to say, is everything fine? How are you? And stuff like that, you could say all beauty. Tudo beleza? Tudo beleza? Tudo beleza? That's all beauty, literally. That's what we ask. You also could ask everything jewel? Tudo jóia? Tudo jóia? I really like this kind of greeting because it kind of shows how old you are a little bit. Especially if you say Tudo belezinha. That sounds like very young, but people who were young in the 90s are more likely to say that nowadays. So you should be at least maybe 30 years old to say that. Not really that every Brazilian follows this rule. It's not like that, but it kind of uh, sticks to a specific group, or a specific group sticks to it. And the sixth way to greet people in Portuguese, a very informal way, and it's actually it. There are many other ways to greet people that derive from this specific one, which is e aí, e aí. And although you see that it's like two separate words, e and ie, like you have two separate words, it's not really pronounced separately. And that's one very common thing that we have in Portuguese that native English speakers sometimes have trouble with. Vowels blend. You have to glide from one vowel to another. So instead of saying ie, which would sound like robotic, you should say yai, yai. Hmm? And it became like nyai. I really like that. So yay sounds like what's up. It's very informal. You would say that among friends. You wouldn't say that to your boss maybe or to someone you don't know. If you want to be friendly, you would say that, but not really with everybody. Okay? So these were the 6 ways or the 5+1 way to greet people here in Brazil, and I hope you have learned them. If you haven't, you have a supporting article in my website, and if you have more questions, just leave a comment below. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado por ter assistido esse vídeo e até a próxima.